Hey guys, in this video we're going to build a simple HTML template with a couple different pages. Alright, now we are going to use some CSS as we did in the last video, but I'm going to try to not get into any kind of advanced styling because we will have a section dedicated to CSS. So I have this index.html file here, and since we're using multiple pages, what I'm going to do is create a folder and just call it simple_html, and I'm going to bring that index file into that folder. Alright, and then let's see, we'll open that up. Alright, so let's open that up. Alright, and inside that simple HTML folder we're going to create some other files. So we want to have a CSS file. We're going to use a separate file called style.css, and we'll also have a file called about.html. We'll have a file called services.html, and we'll have a file called contact.html. Alright, so let's start on the index page. I want to wrap everything in a container div, so this will be an ID of container. Okay, and then in here we're going to have a header. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not using header and footer tags and stuff like that, it's because the next section is going to be on HTML5, and that's where I'll go over the new HTML5 base tags. Alright, let's put an H1 in here, and we'll just say simple HTML template. Okay, and then under the header we're going to have a nav bar. So this is going to be a div with the ID of nav. Okay, and in the nav we're going to have a UL and some LIs and some links. So this will be the home link. So this will go to index.html, which is this page. Okay, let's copy that. We'll also have one for about, and that'll go to about HTML, services, and contact. Alright, so there's our nav bar. If we save it and take a look, it's not going to be anything special. Oops, we need to go into that folder. And let's see, index. We're going to open that with Chrome. And that's what it should look like so far. Alright, so let's go back into Sublime. And under the nav bar, we're going to have the main div. So this ends here, so we're going to say div, and let's give this an ID of main. And in here we'll just put an H1 that says welcome, and then a paragraph. I'm actually going to just paste in 2 paragraphs here of just dummy text. Alright, and then we'll just tab this over. Okay, so that's the main area, and then underneath the main div, we're going to have a sidebar div. Alright, and we'll just put an H3 here. We'll say sidebar, and then just a short paragraph. I'm just going to grab this and paste that in. Alright, and then after the sidebar we're going to have a footer div. So this will be div ID footer. Alright, and then in here we're just going to put a paragraph with a copyright. So this ampersand copy semicolon, this will give us a copyright symbol. Alright, so let's save that. So that's the HTML for the home page. So now we want to start to style it. What we'll do is go up to the head tag. Inside here, I'm going to put in a link tag, give it a rel attribute, and that'll be style sheet. We're just telling it what type of link this will be, what type of file. And then we need an href, which will point to that file, which is just going to be style.css. Alright, so then we'll go and open up that. And just to make sure it's working, we'll put a body and let's give it a dark background. So we'll give it the hexadecimal value, number sign 666, which should give it a dark gray. Alright, good. I'm also going to make the color of the text white by default. Okay, now you can use the shorthand with 3 characters. White could be 6 Fs or 3. Okay, same thing up here. We could have 6 sixes or 3 of them. Alright, so we're going to use the shorthand, and then let's just make our font family Arial. Okay, save that. Now notice the links are blue, and I don't want that. I want those to be white as well. So let's say A, all the A tags will have color white, and then see how they're also underlined? I don't want that, so we're going to say text decoration will be none. Alright, and then let's see, ULs by default have padding. I want to take that padding away, so say padding 0. Alright, and then for the container, that's an ID, so we want the number sign. Container, we're gonna give that a different background color. Okay, that's gonna be a little darker, so 333. And then let's set the width to be 960 pixels. For the margin, we want 30 on top and then auto on the left and right. We're going to say overflow hidden, and we'll give it 10 pixels padding. Let's save that. Alright. Next thing we'll do is the nav bar. We want this to be a horizontal menu. So remember, it has an ID of nav. We're actually going to set a height of 40 pixels. And let's set background to 666. And then for the UL itself, we can say nav UL. I want that to have padding top 13 pixels, and then padding left 10 pixels. Alright, then we have the list items, so say nav li. We're going to set list style to none, and let's say we want them to float left, okay, because we want a horizontal menu, and then just add padding right 20 pixels. Okay, save that, and that gives us a horizontal menu. Now when we're on a certain page, I want the link to be bold and also make it a black color. So what we can do is in our index page, let's go to where the home link is and just add a class of active. Alright, and then we'll go over here and we'll say nav.active. Say font weight is going to be bold, and then color is going to be black. Alright. Next we'll do the main area and the sidebar. So let's say main, and we want to float that to the left, and then width is going to be 60%. And then for the sidebar, we're going to float that to the right, set the width for 30%. Background will be 666, and then let's set a margin top of 20 pixels, and then padding 10 pixels. Okay, let's save that and reload. Now you notice we have our sidebar and it's floating, but the footer is up here, which isn't what we want. The reason for that is because after we float elements, we need to then clear it, or this happens. So what we can do is go right under, we have the main, then the sidebar, and right under that we'll put in a div, and I'm going to give it a class of CLR for clear, and save it. And then let's go back here and say .clr, and we just want to say clear both. We want to clear both sides. So now if we reload, you can see the footer is now down at the bottom. Alright, so now let's style the footer. We want to align it to the center. And say padding 10 pixels. Background 666. Margin top 30 pixels. Alright. So I think that's going to do it for the index page. Alright, so now what we're going to do is copy everything in the index, and let's open up the About page and paste it in. We're going to just change the title here to About, and we're going to move the class active off of the index and onto the About. Alright, and then down here let's change the heading to About, and for the text I'm just going to delete the second paragraph. Okay, the rest can pretty much stay the same, so we'll save that. And now notice when we go to About, you can see that the link is now active here. Alright, let's actually add a line height to the body because I think the words are too close together. So we'll say line height 1.5 m. Alright, or maybe 1.3. 1.4. There we go. Alright, so we have our index, About. Now for the services page, we're going to copy what we have on the About and open up services. Okay, we'll go ahead and change the title and the active link. Okay, this heading will say services, and then I'm going to get rid of this paragraph. And we're actually going to put a UL in here. Alright, and then let's give that UL an ID of services. Actually, we'll make that a class. And let's see, we'll have an LI. Inside there we'll have an H3. This will be service 1. And then let me just grab a paragraph. And then under that we'll have an A tag. And that's just going to go nowhere for now. And that will be read more. So this would go to some kind of service page, but we're not going to create that. Alright, let's just indent that, and then we're going to copy this LI and let's paste in a couple more, and then I'm just going to change this to service 2 and service 3 and service 4. Alright, so save that. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of styling to this. So let's go with the link right here. I want to kind of look like a button. So let's do dot services A, and we'll set the background, and let's set padding to 10 pixels. Okay, so that kind of makes it look like a button. Now for the list items, let's say dot services li. I want to add a border to the bottom, which will be 2 pixels, and for the color we'll do that, and then for the style, let's say dashed. Alright, and then we're just going to add 20 pixels padding to the bottom. Alright, so that looks a little better. So that's services. Now for the final page, which is the contact page, let's open that up, and let's copy what we have in, let's say, the about page. Paste that in. This will be contact, and let's see, we're going to take the active class attribute here and put that on contact, and then we'll change this, and we're going to get rid of the paragraph and just put in a simple form. It's not going to go anywhere, it's just for just the display. Alright, so let's put each field in a div. Okay, so in here we'll put a label, and input with the type of text, and we'll give it a name of name. Alright, and then let's just copy this div, and we're going to have 2 more. This next one will just be an email, and you could leave that at text, or you could use the email type. And then this one here will be message, and this one is going to be a text area. Okay, text area should have an ending tag. Alright, and then under that we'll put a submit. Let's actually make it a button. Just make sure you give it a type of submit, and we'll just say send. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to contact, and now we have this form. I do want to style it a little bit. We're going to put some BR tags after the labels, and then let's save it and go into the style sheet, and I just want to say input. I want all the inputs, and then also the text area, and I'm going to set the width of those to 100% so they go across the whole element, and then padding of 5 pixels. Alright, and then just a margin on the bottom of 15 pixels. Okay, reload, and there we go, there's our form. So we now have a very simple HTML template.